everyone, welcome back to Body Haven Soaps. Today's video is going to be on making heel balm to help with cracked heels and add moisture and help heal up that skin. No medical claims made, we're just using natural moisturizing ingredients. I add infused herbs and oils and stuff like that to bring some properties to it. But quick disclaimer, not making any medical claims to the set. All right. So I have everything measured out here. I will provide the recipe throughout this video for you. And you can change this up however you want. You can alternate different oils. You can make it vegan if you want. I use beeswax in mine, so that no longer is considered vegan. But you can change that up and make it vegan. Okay, so the options are endless. This is just the base of what I do. And this is for the heel salve that I make, okay? I'm going to turn my water on here because I want to do this in the double boiler method, okay? You can do this in the microwave, you guys, and that's fine. You need to melt basically your beeswax and your shea butter down. Now, I've said in many other videos, I don't like the microwave because I can't control the temperature, so I tend to do everything in this double boiler, especially when I'm working with ingredients such as shea butter and stuff like that. It really does break down the properties once it gets to a certain temperature. So I will do mine in a double boiler, but you can absolutely do this in a microwave if you want. All right, so a few things that we add. And I'll go through the ingredients, you guys. So I'm making a double batch, which only makes 6 of these 2. So when I first formulated this, because I was testing it out, I did a very small batch for one portion, and then when I put it into the stores, the one store that I did put it in, I just did 3. So my recipe makes 3 of the 2 ounce. You could absolutely do this in 1 ounce containers. I mean, like I say, the options are endless for you guys. These are just base ideas to give you guys some idea for stuff that you might be interested in doing. All right, so I'm going to do 6 2-ounce containers, okay? So I'm going to put in 4.2 ounces of fractionated coconut oil. Now, the reason I use the fractionated coconut oil and I don't use the coconut butter, or oil, sorry. With the coconut oil, it doesn't absorb into the skin as easily. With the fractionated coconut oil, it does absorb more readily into the skin, so there's less of that greasy feel in your balm. So there is 4.2 ounces of the fractionated coconut oil. Scrape all that in there. Okay, and then I use my own infused oil. So you can use any oil you want. You could use an avocado oil. Keep in mind that's a heavier oil that doesn't absorb, but it has great properties to it. So you may have to mix that maybe with a apricot oil or something like that. But what I have is I have my own oils. As you can see, it's got some stuff in the bottom there. But this is oils that I have infused with herbs. It has arnica, comfrey, the Hebrew bark, calendula, and chamomile. That is the herbs that I use to infuse into this oil, and this is olive oil and grapeseed oil. Okay, olive oil is got a lot of good properties to it, but it doesn't absorb into the skin, and this is what I use for all of my salves. So I split it 50-50 with grapeseed oil, which is oil that absorbs quicker into the skin. So it's 50-50, and then I put my herbs in there and I simmer those for a few hours, 4 hours. I allow that to cool, and then I strain it, and then I put it in a jar, okay? And that is what I'm putting in Okay, but you can replace this with whatever oils you want. That's just what I put in for this. So I am putting in 2.8 ounces of my infused herbal oil. Okay, and then we have the castor oil. Castor oil, it really draws moisture to the skin, and it's a really good hydrator for the skin, so that is the purpose of it being in here. I absolutely love castor oil, but I'm going to put 2 ounces of castor oil into this salve. Okay, and then we have our shea butter. So shea butter, it's super good for the skin. Mango butter might be a little bit drier of a butter, but I like what shea butter brings to the salve. It's just really good for hydrating and nourishing the skin. All right, but you could replace this with mango butter if that's what you had. Not a problem, okay? Or, you know, any butter that you want, okay? So this is going to be 1.4 ounces of shea butter. And we're going to put that in. And this is a pretty straightforward recipe. You just throw everything in, you heat it up. There's no preservatives or anything in this. There's no water. It's not used in the shower, any of those types of things. So it's all good there. Let's get the stuff off the spoon the best we can here, because I'm going to use this rubber one. All right, so 1.4 ounces of shea butter, and then this is our thickener here. Oops, throwing stuff all over. This is what we use to thicken and actually make the salve. Is the beeswax. Okay, and as I said, if you want to make this vegan, you can use other waxes that are available to you, but I use the beeswax. Beeswax has a lot of good properties to bring to the skin, so that's what I put in mine. So beeswax, 1.4 ounces of beeswax, and I use the white pastel cosmetic beeswax. You could use the yellow pastels. You could use, if you have a honey farm close by, you could use fresh beeswax, whatever you got. Fresh beeswax would be perfect. It would probably be the healthiest to go in here. All right, so I'm going to melt this down on the double boiler, and then I will be back in just a couple minutes. This will take probably about 15 minutes, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes to melt down. It takes a little bit for those beeswax to melt down. So we'll just give this a few minutes and I will be right back. Okay guys, so now that this is all melted down, okay, you can see this is melted quite clearly, okay. I forgot to put my camera down, but we've got this melted quite clearly here. So that's perfect. All right. So now that that is completely melted down, I'm going to use a little bit of this pink neon mica. When it cools and you get the opaqueness from the beeswax, it'll just be almost a mauve color. So we're not adding a lot. It's just, this is going to be a peppermint lavender blend of essential oils. So we just want to add a little bit of that, and I will show you what that looks like in here. Use the little whisk to get this incorporated in here. So I might want to add a little bit more. just till I get the color that I'm looking for. Okay, and I am liking that color. So I didn't put a lot in, as you can see, but it's a nice color. And because we used that whizzy thing, I don't know, what little tiny hand whisker, electric whisker, it causes some bubbles. So just spray some rubbing alcohol on there, okay? And now we're going to get the temperature so we can see when we can put our essential oils in. Now this is at 154, so we're cooling off nicely with this, so I can go ahead and add my essential oils at this point. I am putting peppermint and lavender essential oils in this batch. They smell really good together for the feet. And I'm going to put in 3 milliliters of the lavender essential oil. These little droplet things work good for some things, but not when I'm doing batches like this. Okay, and then I am going to put in 5 milliliters of the peppermint. Peppermint has that, essential oil has that cooling effect on the feet. So it is really good in here. And the lavender and the peppermint together are just amazing. I love the smell of that. So you want to stir this because remember you have all of those molecules are heated up, your oil molecules and stuff, they're all heated up so they're expanded. So the essential oil will absorb into those molecules, or not really absorb, but attach to those molecules. And that's what keeps it, the different bindings going on. If you don't stir this enough, you're going to have little pockets of essential oils throughout your product, and you don't want that. So you want to make sure that you're stirring this a minute and a half, 2 minutes, so that this is mixed very well and everything is combined and binded together, because you're adding those essential oils at a different temperature than the rest of the oils. Okay, so I've been stirring this for about 2 minutes and it is well mixed. We're down to 105 degrees. So let's pour this. Now these have all been sanitized and sprayed with rubbing alcohol. Should have tilted my camera down sooner, sorry guys. But you got the recipe and you can, I lifted stuff up so you should be okay to see this. Alright, so I've been stirring this for about 2 minutes. We're down to about 105 degrees, so it's time to pour this. These containers have been sanitized in a water bleach solution, 10 to 1. Rinsed, air dried, just like I do all containers that I put products in, because I don't want any bacteria to grow. And then I spray it with rubbing alcohol and then I let it dry again. So I do that with all my containers and lids, okay? I know there's no water in here, but we don't want it to start with bacteria in it, okay? Water makes bacteria grow, but if there's bacteria, it will still grow. So you want to make sure it's clean. All right, and we're just going to pour and fill these up. So it's pretty straightforward and simple. And I just do it to the rim. All right, and then you just allow these to cool, and do not put lids on any containers that you've put a warm product in until that container has cooled down completely. You will get condensation in the lid from the heat. Oops. And then you do get moisture inside your containers and you will have bacteria. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow these to cool in place. I will then set them over on my drying rack and let them set probably till tomorrow morning. I will then cap them, label them, and put my shrink wrap seals on there. All right, so I hope that you gained some information from this video and you've got the recipe. If you change it at all or you have any ideas or use it for something, maybe just leave it in the comments below, right? So other people can get, you know, ideas. It doesn't have to be made exactly how I made it. You can substitute these oils. You can substitute the butter out to a different type of butter, okay? The wax out to a different type of wax. And if you do try it, just leave it in the comments below so that other people that are interested in making it a vegan product or changing up the butters or oils, they can have the information of how it worked for you. This is how I like to do mine, and I would love to see your guys' results when you make yours. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Take care.